What's going on, y'all? Corpus Christi Originals back at it again. We got some folks in the building coming to you live from the Produce Sound Studios downtown Corpus Christi, Texas. Real quick, we give a shout out to Vago Burgers and BBQ, 4701 Barrera Drive. Check them out if you haven't. Sponsor of the show. Appreciate you guys. Today we got Marcos Leal from Ill Niño, Shattered Sun, and Swim the Current.
How's it going, my man?
Co-host Nick Lopez. What's going on, y'all?
What's up? What's up, everybody?
Y'all doing all right?
Feeling great.
Yes, what's up, man?
Yeah.
Dang, dude. So let me get this out of the way real quick. How are you gonna freaking go to meet the Slayer dudes in cowboy regalia, bro?
Oh my lord. You know that story? Or
Yeah, what? I know that story, bro. Even the most diehard cowboy dude would know that kind of stuff is whatever.
Hey, I went into the fucking nest with some vipers, bro. And you know what? You know what, man? I'm a diehard Cowboys fan, and I know those dudes are diehard Raiders, diehard San Francisco fans. But long story short, I felt I had a little bit of cred to where I could walk in there with my fucking Cowboy shit. I was like, yo, and you know the funny thing is I blacked out that night, and yeah, they had a big ice sculpture where they were pouring shots down. So I had the paint under my eyes, and I had my Cowboys jersey on. I was talking about the old days. I was talking about Emmett. I was talking about Irvin, and then I blacked out. I woke up the next day at a McDonald's off the side of the road, and everybody was like, "Man, do you know what the fuck you did last night?" And I was like, "Oh God, what did I do?" They're like, you were in there with your Cowboys jersey talking shit about the 95 and 92 season. So, oh man, I let it show that I'm a Cowboys fan. I've been kicked out of a couple Buffalo Wild Wings.
Hey, Maya, put the camera right here, bro.
Oh,
check this shit out.
Here you go, bro. Oh, on the other side.
Oh, Mama, are you kidding me, dude? Oh my lord. Thank you so much. That is incredible. Yeah. That's funny that this is on here because me and my wife have always wanted to steal the Leal Road coming back from San Antonio. Mm-hmm. We just never had a saw to cut it off. So now we got ours, man. Thank you guys, man.
Yeah, man.
That's all him right there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Dude.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. You know how we do it down here in South Texas, man.
Absolutely.
For sure, bro. That's awesome.
Texans.
Yeah, dude, for sure, man. Yeah, so we got a couple topics here talking about Ill Niño, Shattered Sun, Swim the Current, and then obviously what you're doing for your community as a musician. We'll go ahead and start with the Ill Niño topics, probably what most people want to hear, obviously. So you got a tour coming up.
Absolutely.
And of course you guys are coming to Corpus.
Yes, sir.
Hell yeah,
yes, sir.
21st of June.
21st. We're excited. Y'all get y'all's tickets because it always sells out, man, every time.
Yeah, and being here in Corpus, there's a certain song, of course, we probably want to hear. You think we can hear that one?
Absolutely. This time around, you know, it's funny is that was my chance to put my fingerprints on the band because we were talking about doing covers and whatever. And I came in at the last minute and I was like, hey, can we do Si Una Vez from Selena? Everybody gave me kickback, and I kind of had to put my foot down a little bit and be like, hey, look, I want to put my fingerprints of my home and my town and my roots on this band. And they gladly obliged, and man, it's an honor to pay homage to the Reina, man.
Yeah,
man,
they came out so good too. I was so impressed, like holy shit, dude, like the guitars to everything, the drumming. I'm like, your voice too, like I never thought I ever hear that song in that style.
Well, you know, it's
that was
funny.
Sick.
With Ill Niño, like there's guys from Brazil, there's guys from Peru, there's guys from, you know, South America here and there. And I'm like, man, well, you know, I'm a Latino from South Texas, you know what I mean? And I have to rep for my hood, you know what I mean? So that was the best way I knew how to kind of like put my fingerprints and my style within the band because, you know, they are very prominent in Spain and Mexico and here and there, but you know, South Texas, I feel like Ill Niño's always had a home. You know what I mean? Even since before I was in the band. So to do that was special, man. Very special.
Yeah, for sure, man. Growing up, definitely. There's a lot of fans, Ill Niño fans. I mean, I didn't even know they were from they originated in like the New Jersey area. Yeah. So that was interesting too.
Yeah, so you can tell they don't like cowboy fans.
Ain't no blue up there, bro.
Oh, yeah. No, you know, I try to take a little bit up there.
There you go. That's what's up, bro. So what can some of the fans expect from your upcoming tour?
Man, well, like I was telling you guys earlier before we came on the air, I've been a fan of Ill Niño since I was, you know, a kid. So to be the singer now, I definitely try to be the voice for the fans. And, you know, I feel like Ill Niño's got a lot of hits, but like I feel like a lot of the fans down here have a lot of deep cuts that they relate to. I hear constantly all the time, you know, oh, you know, I lost my grandfather and this song helped me, or you know, I've been through this and this song helped me. You know, a kid from Lubbock said, hey, you know, How Can I Live helped me through losing a child. And so I just kind of feel like I need to bring those voices out to the forefront on this tour and play some of the songs that we don't normally play, man. So I'm looking forward to playing some deep cuts on this one.
Nice. So so those are some
too, man.
Yeah.
Good.
Any special elements or surprise planned for the show?
Yeah, we're gonna have a couple guest singers out and a couple of old school players from the early days of Ill Niño come out to certain dates. And I know Corpus, we got a few things planned, and man, it's just always a special time to play in Corpus, man. I've been playing in Corpus since I was 13 years old, man. So you know, to be selling things out now at 35, 36 years old is I don't take it for granted, my man.
That's what's up, man. That's dope. What's going on, Matt Cantu in the chat and YouTube?
¿Qué pasó, Matt?
Priscilla, what's up,
My
Priscilla?
man,
What's going on,
dude.
Priscilla? Yeah, yeah. Matt was saying, what was he saying, that the reason why y'all played a certain song at somewhere, Shattered Sun or something, is because he brought it up or whatever.
Absolutely. You know, Matt's been a big time supporter of us. I'm very, very proud to see that he's making moves on his own. A lot of these young cats, man, that I started out with, you know, that are out there making moves, man. It's special to me because we have those conversations as musicians, you know what I mean? Hey, do this, try this, you know, go this route. To see them making moves and gaining notoriety. Anybody here from Corpus Christi, man, it makes me so proud, dude. So proud, because it's all about the next generation, bro. Always.
Yeah, right on. And it seems like we're there's a lot of hard workers down here, bro. Like you mentioned, you're a truck driver in one of your interviews. I'm a truck driver. I haul LP around Texas. Nick over here does welding and stuff like that. So, and a lot of us, it's our dream as well, you know. So just knowing that somebody from South Texas like you yourself is touring and doing all these things, it's amazing, dude.
Yeah,
it's amazing for us.
I try and carry that with me constantly. Is you know, not only from tour to tour, but from album to album. Anything that I do, I constantly let myself know, like, you know, from Alice. You know what I mean? A lot of dudes that I grew up with, I was the one to kind of, you know, take this the long way, you know what I mean? And to carry that with me, man, I carry so much respect and so much love for everybody that had that dream. And I feel like I'm carrying those dreams for them as well.
Yeah, right on, man. So your story with the band Ill Niño, obviously a lot of us know. I know some of it because I watched your interviews that you started in Shattered Sun, right? And eventually you started touring, and then you got to know the guys from Ill Niño by doing sound checks, right, for them or something like that. That's
we were the opening band on one of the tours, and you know, Shattered Sun is kind of always where my heart's been, and what gave my first break. You know, we sold over 60,000 records worldwide, and had over 1 million streams. That was the first time that I've ever signed a record deal, like. So they took me, and we were able to do some really special things. But when I got on that Ill Niño tour, that's kind of where I knew something was going to shift. You know what I mean? At some point. And yeah, you know, I was doing sound checks and things like that just to kind of help the previous singer, Christian. You know what I mean? In some of his struggles that he was going on with, and I just kind of knew in the way Dave was looking at me that something was going to happen down the line. Not right then and there, but it wound up happening. You know?
Oh man, how do you find yourself preparing for a tour, like physically and mentally?
Man, it's different. Sometimes I really get into it physically and run and do all that stuff. Sometimes I try not to let all of those things stress me out, because man, it can become an anxiety box. You know what I mean? Where you're like, tour's coming up, and your kids and your this and that, man. I always try and tell my wife, you know what I mean? Let's just control what we can control that's right in front of us. And you know, touring's touring, man. I love it. But it's also something that I've had to learn, you know what I mean? Many years into this, how to kind of work my body the right way, work my voice the right way. And I kind of feel like I have a good groove in it now.
That's awesome, man. And so you've been like, I guess, touring with them before creating an album with them.
Correct. Yeah. I first started touring professionally in 2014 with Shattered Sun, and then when I got with Ill Niño, I jumped in. We did a few singles that came out, and we were working on a record the whole time. But it was definitely my job to restore the band, and I know Nick can speak to this. Restore the band to where it was when I first saw them, which was Concrete Street. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Like we talked about, we went to all the same shit. It's crazy how we didn't link up before.
Yeah, I know that is nuts. But I when I first joined the band, I told Dave I want to restore the band to prominence, to the marquee. Ill Niño's playing, headlining, and that was always my dream. That was always my goal, and I feel like we're doing that, man. I feel like we're doing that. It's special.
How do you think how has the band's sound and dynamic evolved over the years?
So, in the beginning they were, I know Nick could speak to this. In the beginning they were cutting edge. You know what I mean? They were. What drew me to Ill Niño was my parents fucking hated metal. They hated. I brought Slipknot home, and they're like, "What the fuck is this? Korn? What is this?" And it wasn't until I put on the Ill Niño CD, Revolution, that they were like, "Oh, these guys can play." Like, you know what I mean? These guys
they heard all the Latin.
They related to the Latin side of it. Yeah. So that's where my love grew for them, like right away. You know what I mean? It's like, oh man, my parents. You know what I mean? Love this, so I love this. You know what I mean? And over the years, I had seen my favorite band kind of die. You know what I mean? Kind of really fall. And when I was touring with them with Shattered Sun, I noticed, man, this is not the band that I loved growing up. You know what I mean? So like I offered myself to help in any way. I noticed the singer was struggling. Hey, let me go down there and sing a song with you, know what I mean? Let me do the screams so you can, take a breath, you know what I mean? And, I saw the band kind of decline fiercely. And when I joined the band, that was my first thing, was like, hey, we need a sound the way you guys sounded in the beginning, where you were coming in and captivating people. You were coming in and taking over shows. And I feel like we've achieved that, you know what I mean? We've come in and really made a mark, man, because Ill Niño was definitely not where we are now. You know what I mean? When I joined the band.
Yeah, because I've been seeing y'all getting festival after festival. I'm like, holy shit, like, dude, like, this is the shit I remember. They were always on a fucking tour, always on tour. Mm-hmm. And then now, like, that kind of, like you said, it died down. Mm-hmm. I didn't see that much. Mm-hmm. But then after, with this new blood, this new creation, dude, y'all are fucking hitting hard. I know Dave's a fucking go-getter too, and so, but just to see y'all on these festivals and him doing these fucking massive tours, dude, it excited me. Like it brought that 12-year-old back out of me. Like, holy shit, like,
very much.
Let's fucking go.
That's how I feel too, man. Is opening for Megadeth, opening for Biohazard, man. We opened for Metallica in fucking Germany. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It was some surreal shit, dude, because it was like, yeah, you're in it or whatever, but step back. You're the kid you were when you were 15, and you're like, man, this is where I wanted to see it. Yeah. And sure. And to have a hand in that means everything to me, man. Mm-hmm. It means everything.
Yeah. Mm. Do you feel like you have to have that? Like, you have to have that type of drive to get to there? I mean,
absolutely. Because that started with Shattered Sun. I have to credit our producer, Robert Beltran, because he taught us that from the beginning. That's why we got our first record deal. Hey, fuck everybody, fuck this. You know what I mean? At that time, the oil field was paying $50-$60 an hour, and he was the first one to be like, hey, you have to commit and go for the goal. And we were so hungry, went for the goal. We wound up getting signed, and doing all these special things. I took that same mentality to Ill Niño. I'm not going to allow my favorite band to die. So if that means me going to the fucking links of my body and voice, then that's what I'm going to do. And I feel like the proof is in the pudding, man. I feel like people got to see the new music, and there's definitely a vibe there.
Oh, for sure.
Nice. So Ill Immortals is the new album. Can you tell us about this new album? What themes or messages are you exploring?
Well, very much like I just said right now, you know, I view Ill Niño as like one of those bands that's like lifelong, you know what I mean? Like a Korn, like a Slipknot, like, you know what I mean? Those are the bands that I grew up loving. And I feel like people thought, oh man, the band's dead. You know, they got a new singer, they got new guys, but you know, the one thing that they didn't realize is they got a bunch of dudes from South Texas, you know what I mean? So we don't fucking die easy, you know what I mean? And we all came in with that mentality, like, hey, we're going to restore the band. That's where Ill Mortals came into place. You know what I mean? Like, yo, the band is Ill Mortal. You know what I mean?
That's a sick ass title too.
Yeah, and I got to credit Dave, man. Dave really came up with that. But you know, seeing the fans from all over the world, because it's not just here in the United States, bro. Like when we went to Spain for the first time, like I was so nervous because I was like, man, they don't want to see me. They want to see the. They want to see the previous. They want to see the old. They want to see. And I remember we were going to the meet and greet line, which was like a mile long, dude. It was so many people there. And I remember I sat down. I was having a beer. I was just trying to be chill. The first person that came up, Marcos, very nice to meet you. So it made me feel like I was a part of it. You know what I mean? And
it just takes that one.
It just takes that one. And you know what I mean? Everybody in the crowd kind of knowing the South Texas kid who was new to the band, you know what I mean? It made me feel very much at home there in Spain and Mexico and Germany and Denmark. You know, we've been all over the place, and I'm just very, very, very thankful for the fans.
It's amazing, man. To be that's amazing, dude. That's a lot of our dream. A lot of us have that dream out here, you know. It's so awesome that you're kind of like living it for us. You know what I mean? Absolutely. It seems like you're looking at it in that perspective.
Absolutely, and awesome. Even, you know, we went to Dubai, we went to Budapest, and I carry that weight. Exactly what you guys are talking about. Corpus Christi, all the guys that have followed me, Shattered Sun, everything. I carry that weight with me when I walk out on stage, and I try and represent for Corpus and for Alice and San Diego and Robstown and Kingsville and Cal Allen, you name it, man. It's in my blood, man. It's how my father raised me, so.
And you know. Alice, bro. Alice is just, you just drive through it, like, you know what I mean? And you're from there, bro. Yeah. It's so
don't tell none of the coyotes
it's so
that, because they'll fucking
crazy, bro. Yeah, it's crazy, man. So can you share like what was the creative process like for this album compared to, well, I guess you kind of compared to the previous one. Well, you done singles though, right?
Yeah.
So what was the creative process like?
So I knew coming in that Ill Niño has to have a sound. You know what I mean? They're the sound. They have a sound. You know this thing. You know what I mean? So my point was to not disrupt that sound, but also kind of put my fingerprints on the band. So when I first joined the band, we did the song Sangre, and we filmed it in Alice, which I was so proud of. Man. Like we because I just told him, I was like, yo, we had my wife's nephew be the main star, and we used the bar that I frequent weekly, you know what I mean? Right. Shout out Bees, shout out Nick. So it was special to me, but it was also that, man, I have to be able to write for this band, because that's my specialty, bro. Is I might not be the greatest singer in the world, but I'm a really great writer, and I know what the fans want to hear from Ill Niño. So, you know, I had a discussion with them where, hey, you have to let me write. You have to let me write in this band. And if not, then I feel like it's not genuine. You know what I mean? And so they granted me that privilege, man, and we wrote a whole record, which is, to me, man, you have every part of my soul on this record. You know, I went from being a father to being losing my own father, losing my father-in-law. You know, I went through so many life changes within this process that it's all there on that record, and I'm excited for people to hear it, man, because it's such a big part of my soul, man, that's on there, and I'm just so happy that it's to the point right now that it's about to be out.
I know it's almost there. I'm like, I've been waiting patiently for this, but that's crazy. So I just saw today, because the pre-sale is live today. You could get your pre-orders.
Correct.
So there's 2 volumes. Can you explain that?
Yeah. So we, you know, in the record industry, they try and make you put out 8-10 songs, you know what I mean? And we wrote about 16, 17, maybe 18 songs that,
Hell yeah.
man, we battled it out for so many months, being like, no, this song's about my fucking popo, bro. Like, so there was so much of that, you know what I mean? This song's about this song's about that, you know? So rather than cut songs and be like, oh, we'll revisit on the next record. Nah, like the Ill Niño fans have waited long enough to where I feel like we can give them 16, 17, 18 songs. So rather than cut songs, we're just going to give you two albums. And it was a long process to come to that. I think that's something that a lot of fans don't understand is, you know, there was a lot of legalities and things. As soon as I joined the band, you can't just throw out a record. You know what I mean? It doesn't work that way. So the fact that we were able to do it like this and give you 2 albums in one, man, I love it.
Yeah, I saw it. I was like, oh, badass. And I was like, volume 1, volume 2. I was like, no fucking way. I was like,
yeah,
we're not just getting 1, we're getting 2.
I was like, no. I was like, dude, fuck yeah.
I love it. Shout out to Dave and shout out to the management team for really making that work, because man, we fought some deadly battles where motherfuckers are not going to be friends anymore and shit, like trying to cut songs.
That's
you know
crazy,
what I mean?
bro.
So I'm glad it worked out this way.
Hell yeah. I can't fucking wait.
That's awesome, man. Yeah. So whenever you're writing the music, are you like purposefully writing for the Ill Niño that you know, or is it like the new? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because it seems like because the fans already heard without, you know, with their previous single. I guess it's a new. Because when I hear the singles, man, it's voice is totally different, bro. Yeah. Like your voice is. I like your voice, man. Especially like in Shattered Sun, and it seems like you brought that. Because it's your voice, obviously, you brought it over to here. So when you're writing, do you feel like you're writing for, I guess, the Ill Niño that you knew, or you know what I'm saying? Like
there's a very fine line to walk right there. Because when I first started working with our producer, Chris Satterfield, you know, the first thing he told me was, we have to differentiate your voice from Shattered Sun. You know, it has to be different. You know what I mean? And which it is. I mean, I know Nick can attest to that. In Shattered Sun, it's a lot more thrash and a lot more, you know, over the top. With Ill Niño, I know we have a box that we have to stay in, but why can't we kind of push outside? You know what I mean? Push outside of the box every now and again. And that's what I think when I'm writing. I always think of the old school Ill Niño fans, but I also think of like, man, I see a lot of 14, 15-year-olds, 16-year-olds at our show, man. Like, what about them? You know what I mean? What about... So it's such a fine line to walk, man, but difficult at times, but also at times very creative, you know what I mean? And being able to do something like that. But I think fans from all walks of life in Ill Niño, from the very beginning to now, I think they're going to love a lot of the stuff that we have on this record, because it's so personal, man. We you know, not only myself, you know, I lost several people, but, you know, Dave lost his sister, Mark lost his mom, you know, it's Sal's, you know, going through some issues, and everybody's gone through certain things to where it's like that comes out on the record. And I think fans are going to be really, really in touch with those things.
Nice. Yeah. I know a lot of us are looking forward to hearing it, man. That's awesome.
Thank you.
So we got Ill Niño. Next, we're doing Shattered Sun topics. Shattered Sun Resurgence.
Yes, sir.
Wow.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
So what's going on there? Just had it recently. What factors do you think that have contributed to this renewal? I guess this resurgence.
Yeah, man. So I have to credit my father-in-law, my late father-in-law, my wife's father. When I joined Ill Niño, I think people were kind of like, "Oh, what's gonna happen with Shattered Sun?" You know, I put my focus there because that was everything to me at the moment. But my father-in-law passed away, you know, recently. And one of the things he would always tell me, he was always so happy for Ill Niño and everything that I did. But he always would tell me, man, if you guys in Shattered Sun could just put aside your differences and just do something, you know what I mean? Do a show, do a this, do a that. And I would always say, you know, it's so difficult, you know what I mean? Putting a band together with 6 hometown guys that were best friends since they were 5th grade. You know what I mean? It can cause some problems. You know, as much as it's a beautiful thing, it can definitely cause a lot of issues. You know what I mean? And so my father-in-law passed away unexpectedly, and immediately our first thing was, man, let's put Shattered back together, because that's what he really wanted, and we wanted to raise some money. You know what I mean, for the family. So we put together a show there at Brewster Street, and we were thinking, nah, man, we'll sell like 200 tickets, 300 tickets, nothing crazy. Man, we almost sold the motherfucker out. You know what I mean? We sold 889 tickets, and I just did not think that people cared about us that much. You know what I mean? With everything that had gone on with Ill Niño and everything that had gone on in my life, to see that people still cared about Shattered Sun was so special to me. I remember the first 2 or 3 days we called and we said, oh, what's the ticket count at? Oh, it's at 398 tickets. We're like, what? Like, you know, it was a shocker. You know what I mean? And to see all the fans that came out and all the people that came out to support my father-in-law, it just felt like that was the right time to be like, all right, let's put this back together. Let's figure out some things. And we've been in the studio. We've been working on a few songs, and you're going to be hearing some stuff pretty soon. We actually have a show at the House of Rock July 26th. So like I said earlier, I have a lot of music going on.
Oh, yeah.
Man, but yeah, Shattered Sun's going to have a show July 26th. We got some killer acts coming out, and we're looking forward to continuing. You know what I mean?
Are y'all still like, because y'all were through several different labels, right? Are y'all still on a label or?
No. So we signed with Victory Records, which I know they catch a lot of heat. I know you've heard a lot of heat, but man, they invested so much money in Shattered Sun, and they really put us out there, man. They put us on all the big tours. They put us on all the radio stations, because I think a lot of people don't understand that's a money game. You know what I mean? It's not hey man, they wrote a great song, so it's on the radio now. It's a money team, and it's a label team that's always doing it. Every band that you hear that's on the radio, they got some kind of team that's working it. You know what I mean? So they put a lot of money behind Shattered Sun, and they really got us on the right track. And you know, funny enough, C101 was the first radio station, iHeart Media radio station, to kind of give us some credibility, because when we started sending Hope Within Hatred out, everybody was like, nah, this is too metal. This is too edgy. Nah, we don't want anything like that. C101 was like, nah, we'll fucking at it, because they're hometown boys. And so I think all the iHeart media stations were kind of just like, oh man, they're onto something cool. Yeah. You know what I mean? We should add it too. You know what I mean?
Wow.
So it caught on like wildfire, man. And it really sparked Shattered Sun's career. And man, I'm so thankful to be revisiting that now and hopefully trying to make a new, you know what I mean, with the new stuff.
Yeah, so you're going to have to do both of those at the same time.
Well, it was, like I said,
not just two.
Yeah, not just two, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and you know, this past week I've really kind of learned, like, oh fuck, I kind of spread myself thin here, because I got Ill Niño's new record coming out, got Shattered Sun stuff coming out, and I'm also transitioning into country rock with my other group. So it's been a tug and pull. I mean, my wife can attest to it. I'm on the phone maybe 80% of the day, man. So but it's very honored, like I told you earlier, to be busy, to be blessed to be working, man.
Nice. How's it going, Francesca? Hi, Mama. Thank you for being on the podcast. Jose Lazo's on there. San Diego in the house.
Let me tell you what, Jose Lazo, dude. We used to fucking party so goddamn hard together in fucking San Diego and Agua Dulce and fucking that. Yo, I think we got left in some fucking fields at some point, man. So shout out Jose, I love you, man.
It seems like that's the rite of passage for a lot of young dudes living there.
No, but it's not till you become a daddy where you're like, oh fuck, nah. Wait, there's gonna be a keg there? Nah, fuck that.
I went through it, so you don't have to.
I died in the field at one point with Jose, so like, no, that ain't happening.
That's awesome, man. Y'all, it's amazing, dude. Like how all of y'all started in Alice, Texas, bro. like, and since 5th grade, it's still the same original members.
Yeah, man.
That's amazing.
So you know, we've gone through some member changes and stuff like that throughout the years. You know, like I said, it's very difficult to form a band with your best friends that you've been friends with, you know, since 5th grade and stuff like that. Business wise, it could be tough. You know what I mean? It could be very tough because the family side of it, you know what I mean? So-and-so's Thea. You're like, oh man, fucking so-and-so's Thea's talking shit on Facebook. And you're like, God damn it, man. You know what I mean? It's just, oh fuck, man. You know, but you have to step back and look at it as the big picture. You know, Shattered Sun has gone all over the world, sold records all over the world and done things all over the world. So it's kind of like, it's hard to differentiate that from Alice, you know, because Alice is here, but the whole fucking world is here. You know what I mean? So, you know, it's tough to do things with the original members, and we kind of have set it up in the place where it's like, hey, where we have some members that can't be there. We know people like Jess, and we know people like George Frank from MIBG and John Luna from the Periwinkle Mask. People are going to help out. You know what I mean? So it's, I'm looking forward to everything that we have coming up with Shattered Sun.
Nice, man. You mentioned in an interview where, like, when you first, I guess it was with them, when you started, like, touring or y'all got signed or whatever, you're like, I thought somebody was giving me, like, a manual of what to do, what not to do, or whatever.
Yeah.
So how far do you think you've come since that? And do you think you've learned a lot of stuff?
I have, absolutely. With the business end of it, I was very, very fortunate to be a part of Johnny Z's legacy. Johnny Z signed Metallica, signed Anthrax, signed Testament, signed you name it. He signed so many of the biggest bands in the world. He found Metallica. You know what I mean? So to be a part of his legacy, where we were the last band, Shattered Sun was the last band that Johnny was like, hey, I'm going to take this band from a little place called Alice that nobody knows who the fuck it is and launch it. You know what I mean? And he absolutely did that. So within that time, I was able to learn from him. I was able to learn from Maria Ferrero, who is a PR giant. I was able to learn from Chuck Billy, who is a legend, you know, in the thrash game. I've learned so many sides of this industry to where it's like, I think of Marcus back then, where it's like, nobody gave me a handbook. Now I try and be that handbook for a lot of these younger bands, man, because I went about 10 years doing things the wrong way. Crazy. Before somebody came in and was like, hey, young man, this is how we're going to do it. Like, and this is the pro way. You know what I mean? So I try and push a lot of that on the younger bands, and I just don't want them to waste 10 years like I did. You know, I wasted a lot of time in my life doing it the wrong way, you know?
So what did you have a question? What motivates you, like, to support that next generation of musicians or artists? Because
I didn't have a hand coming up. I had a very rough time coming up. You know what I mean? And I did things a lot of the wrong way. I ruined friendships. I spent money that shouldn't have been spent, and I did things the wrong way. You know what I mean? And we all did. And it wasn't until I had somebody that came in and was like, here, young man, let me help you up. Yeah. And man, I went from doing this since I was 15 years old. I didn't get that break until I was 25. Yeah. You know what I mean? So that was a long time that I was doing things the wrong way. And thank God I got that hand up. But I see a lot of these younger bands that, you know, make questionable decisions. And I try and come in there and I try and be that hand that was given to me. Try and be that for them earlier. You know what I mean? Earlier in the game. You know, I see bands that they'll book a show, you know, on the 26th. And they'll promote the show, but then they'll book a show on the 25th and the 24th. And then they decide to book another show on the 26th later that night. Man, you're doing it all wrong. You know what I mean? Like, you're focusing in the wrong places. You know what I mean? Taking pictures, making music that sounds good, man. Because at the end of the day, I remember Chuck used to tell me that all the time. You need to make music that fucking sounds good. So people fucking, like, give themselves to you. You know what I mean? And I didn't learn that until late. And I see a lot of bands making those mistakes now. So I just try and guide, man. But ultimately, at the end of the day, everybody's going to make their own moves how they want to make them. But if I can guide one band in the right way, then that's what I'm going to do.
It's always interesting to me when I hear people do that for others, and it makes me think about like who influenced you to do that. Like, did your folks teach you that? I mean, because it seems like it seems like it's like that among our culture.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You help out others.
My dad was very much like that. My dad, when I first started touring, would always tell me, "Hey, man, make sure you look nice. Make sure you shave. Make sure you smell good." He used to always tell me that, man.
Yeah.
And he used to always take care of your crew, take care of your driver, make sure your driver eats, make sure your crew guys this and that. And he was telling me this at an early age where I was like, man, I don't give a fuck. Like, you know, I'm trying to fucking play and get drunk and whatever.
Right.
But like now I see it. We're in the position I'm in where I'm like, man, I try and help our crew all the time. I try and help the other crews all the time. And it's very much something that was instilled in me, but also from my own experiences too, man. Like, I don't want to see anybody fall on their face as hard as I did. So if I can help, you know what I mean, in some places, man, I will. You know what I mean?
You feel like your family grounds you in that sense?
I've had the opportunity to live in New York, LA, Portland, Dallas. I stay in Alice for that specific reason because it grounds me. And that's where my father raised me. That's where my grandfather raised him, and that's where I'm going to raise my kids. So it keeps me grounded, man. Keeps me grounded.
That's what's up, man. So,
I get to see all of the world and all of these things that I do, man. I'm always going to be an Alice kid, and my kids are going to be Alice kids too.
Looking back, what do you think have been the key decisions that helped you succeed in the music industry?
Committing. And I tell young bands this all the time, and you have to commit. Normally there's bands, you know what I mean? Like, I won't say names, I don't want to insult anybody, but there's bands that are like on the cusp, but they won't commit, you know what I mean? Because, hey man, I work on the weekends and I have a gig, and I get paid $40 an hour. Hey man, I got a kid, I got 2 kids. Yeah, I have to do this or that. I've been there, my bandmates have been there. It wasn't until we committed where it was like, hey, we're going to make a record that it's either going to get us signed or we're going to give up music altogether.
Whoa.
That's what happened with Shattered Sun. First record, we put everything into it. Everybody around us put everything into it. The sacrifices that were made, not only by us, but like by our wives and by our family, because we were going out there, we weren't making shit, man. Like in the beginning, because that's how it goes. That's how this industry goes, man. Wow. You're gonna go out there and you're gonna swing. But yo, man, you're probably gonna make $200-300 for the night. You know what I mean? So you have to commit. And I know when you're standing at the end, or before you take that jump, and you're just like, man, I could go work in this oil field right here, and I could fucking make fucking $40 an hour, $50 an hour.
Yeah.
That was such a big thing for us, but we had to commit, man, and really go for it, dude. And it's easier said than done. I know that because not a lot of people can do it. But
we heard it in the album though, man.
Yeah,
the fucking Hope Within Hatred was a great fucking album. Yeah, and you could hear that y'all put y'all's fucking souls in that album to fucking make it.
I can't even tell you, man. Like how many hours we spent in there. How many fights that were had with spouses. How many? I have to be in the studio because of I have to. So and so's pregnant. Like, we didn't find out till our bass player was pregnant, or his wife was pregnant, until we were in the van getting ready to go on our second tour, and we all looked at him. And we were like, "Yo,
damn,
your girl's pregnant?" And he was like, "Well, I didn't want to say anything, bro. I didn't want to say anything.
I didn't want to ruin the mood.
Yeah, I didn't want to ruin the vibe. You know what I mean? So, but
just drive.
Yeah, but that's what I tell bands, like, that's the commitment. And no, it might not be the healthiest at times, but like that's the only way to do it, is to commit and be like, hey, yeah, I might lose $40 an hour, but man, I'm gonna go do this. And fortunately for us, it paid off, man, because it could have been a horror story too.
Yeah. Sure. Robert Leal, proud of Cuz, your dad and father-in-law. So proud of you. Love you, man.
Oh man, that's my cousin, man. He's been supporting me since the underground days, driving me to gigs, and I love you, Rob, man. I appreciate you, man. You know, something I try and tell a lot of these younger bands is even with me, you know, I've had a lot of the success, but even with the success, there's been moments within it where I'm like, you know, my dad was diagnosed with cancer, and you know, this was right when I was in Ill Niño and everything was kicking off, and my instant reaction was, I'm canceling everything. I'm gonna stay home. My dad refused. He was just like, no, you're gonna go. You're gonna get on that plane. You're gonna do this. You're gonna do that. You're not gonna let this stop you. And so months went by. You know, he succumbed to his illness, and I did all of those tours, but the guilt like haunted me, dude. Like, and it turned into this bus. You know, you used to ride in a van. You know what I mean? But this bus that you're in, that's state of the art, it's a prison now because you're here. And I tell bands all the time, there will be a price that you pay at some point. You know what I mean? If you want to do this all the way. And I've learned that those moments were the price that I paid. You know what I mean? My dad being so sick, and me being in Germany, and him staying up till 1 a.m. to see me walk out on stage. You know, those things to this day, man, they kill me. But you know what I mean? It's the price you pay to committing. You know what I mean? And doing those things, man. And I'm very thankful that I had my father to support me through all of that, and you know, push me to do all of that, because without him, I would not be here today.
Yeah, shout out to Pops, man.
Yeah.
For sure. Was one of your songs from Swim the Current inspired by the passing of your father?
Yes. So it's funny now that a lot of the stuff is kind of inspired by my dad, whether it be being a good dad, or, you know what I mean, looking out for your kids, or, you know, all of those things, they kind of come back to me now full circle, you know. So when I decided to join Swim the Current, I wasn't really looking for a new band. You know what I mean? I wasn't looking to do a new thing. It started as a feature. They hired me to do a feature. And the music was so good that I was like, man, this is cool. Like, yeah. And it's something I always tell to young musicians, like, if the words and the lyrics just flow out of you, then it's something special. You know what I mean? Not where I have to go think about it. I have to write this song in a room for 4 days. Man, if it comes like that, like right off the bat upon first listen, there's something special there. Nice. So that happened with the first one. They came at me and they said, hey, man, we want you to do another one. I did another one, and then it was kind of like, hey, well, you know what, man? I love country. Like, you know, I know you bunch of motherfuckers from New York, but like,
there you go. Fucking yeah,
dude, very much so, very much so. And maybe it's a fatal flaw inside of me, man, because I wear my fucking Cowboys jerseys up there too.
You attract New Yorkers now.
I do, man. A lot of my business is in New York, man. I don't know why, but I told him, man, I love country, and I really don't want to do another metal band, and I want to do something that's different with my voice, and Ill Niño's here and Chatterton's here, do something here, man. And anybody that knows me knows that I'm the biggest country fan. I can clear out an Ill Niño bus in fucking 5 seconds. I'll put on some fucking George Strait, and everybody's like, yeah, I'm going to go to the green room, man. Like, all right, yeah, I'll see you in there, man. That's kind of my thing, man. And so I've always had a hand in singing country music, but never was it to the point where I told the band, hey, well, I want to do this. I want to do some kind of country style music. And they were like, okay, well, let's try it out. And it worked. We put out our first single, which is a cover of Coetzel. Yeah, I'm a huge Coetzel fan, huge Jason Aldean fan, huge George Strait fan, huge Garth Brooks fan, you name it. So we did that cover just to kind of tap our feet in the water to see what
it stirs.
Yeah, because I don't want to be full on country. I don't want to walk into Nashville and be like, oh, I'm a new fucking country guy. Because I'm not that. I want to bring the Steve Perry to country, man. I want to bring that journey, that rock to country, and that's what we're trying to do, man. So we did that first single. It worked out great. It's charting right now. I believe it's 18 and 19 on the charts right now. So that's a cover, man. Yeah. We have about 4 or 5 or 6 songs that are loaded, that are country rock, and I'm excited for people to hear, man. They're just loaded up in the gun, ready to shoot out.
Come on, with that 6-shooter.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man. So it's we went to go record with one of the best writers, producers that I've ever been with, Sahaj Tikatin. He works he's the singer of Raw. Do you call my name? Do you feel my brain? Yeah, huge band from that era with Ill Niño. He's a huge time producer. He works with Motley Crue. He works with Starset. He works with Nothing More, some of the biggest bands in the industry. And we went over there, and he was like, "Yo, let's take some fucking swings at like some country shit, you know, like let's fucking go for it." And yo, I had an American Idol moment, man, because straight up when I got there in Indianapolis, he was like, "Look, I'm gonna be honest with you." He's like, "I don't fucking think you can sing country." Oh. He was like, "And I'm not gonna waste my time writing country songs, and you can't even sing country." He was like, "So sing me something country." And I was like, "Oh, no, I don't know." And he was like, "No." And he put on some country songs on the jams, and he was like, "Sing it. Let me hear you sing it." So I had to sing like I was in my backyard, you know what I mean, drinking Bud Lights, and I gave him the country drawl, and I sang it to him, and after a couple songs, he's like, "Okay, I believe you, man. Like, let's make some hits, dude." So yeah, we got a few songs coming out, man, and I'm real excited about it because, like I said, everything that I do is Ill Niño's here, Shattered Sun's here, From the Currents here. So I try and keep everything a little bit separate, but also a little bit different. You know what I mean?
Wow, that's awesome.
My wife even made a comment too that I would walk right out to with the country.
Oh,
I'm picky with the country. I'm picky with the country. But my wife's a big country listener. So.
I'm a big Jason Aldean slut, dude.
Oh, that's your wife?
That's my wife right there.
Yeah, shout out.
Yeah,
that's awesome, man. Big love to Marcos from New York. Mad talent, brother. Love you.
Thank you, my man. Thank you. Yo, these Giants fans love me. I don't know why, man. I don't know why.
Hold that sign up, bro.
I don't know why these Giants fans love me, man. They love me, man. Eventually, I'm gonna get them wearing Cowboys boots and eating brisket and all that stuff. That's what I tell my man George and Joe from the Current. I'm like, "Yo, man, we got to get you down here just for like a Sunday. Yo, we'll start drinking before the game on like Friday. You know, we'll cook a brisket. You know what I mean?" It's funny too because the fan is different in New York than to Dallas. Like in Dallas, we're like, "Yeah, man, come down. Nah, dude, this is my Theo. This is my fucking get him a beer, bro. We've been smoking these fucking tripas for all day, whatever.
Go get a plate, right?
Yeah, you go get a plate, bro. Yeah, what part of New York are you from, dude? Nah, I've been up there one time, like in New York. They're just like, "Yo, who's this fucking guy in the fucking Cowboys jersey, bro? Yo, is that your guy or what, bro?" No. Hey, they make it real weird, bro. They make it real weird. There was one time that we were playing in New York on September 11th, and the Cowboys were playing the Giants. So it was a big fucking deal, dude. And
Giants,
yeah, it was 9/11 or whatever. So I was the only dumbass in fucking New York. It was all fucking Dak, bro. Fucking Dak.
Dak attack.
Yeah, dude. Oh, man. So we walk into this bar, and as soon as I open the door, it was all fucking boo, bro. It's like, all right, this ain't the spot for us, dude. We walked a little while down the road, and this French guy was standing out in front of his bar. He goes, Cowboy fan. Yes, sir. So come in, dude. We were like the only people in the bar. We were like, "Yo, New York is nice, bro. New York is fucking nice, dude."
That's hilarious.
Good times, man.
That's what's up, man. How much time we got on the clock? I can't see it here, man.
About 10.
Yeah, right for Oh, okay.
Oh, Joe, my man. Big love, New York. He's gonna be a Cowboys fan soon.
Nice. Hey, who's that? He's in the group or no?
Yeah, he's a lead guitarist for From the Current.
Come on, it's awesome, man. So do y'all plan on building on the success of the chart?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We have a song coming out that is. Let me put it to you this way. It's probably the most country thing that I've ever done. I showed my wife for the first time, and she was shocked. I showed Daniel for the first time, and he was shocked. But the one thing that I've heard about this track is like, man, this gets stuck in your head, and it's got some Jason Aldean, Co vibes, and I'm excited about it, man. I'm really excited for people to hear that side of my voice because it's something that I've only ever done in like the backyard when I'm drunk. You know what I mean? So now doing it professionally is pretty cool.
What do you think has been the key to that success on the chart?
Like I said earlier, I'm not trying to be Jason or or George, or I'm trying to bring my rock voice into that because like you have that hat right there, Giovanni, man. Co is playing on C101 and a lot of these bands, Austin Me, they're crossing. So like, why can't I bring more of the rock side into the country? You know what I mean? Because truthfully, I feel like a lot of these country guys, if they had the grit and more metal side of my voice, they would be doing it. You know what I mean? But it's something that I need to do. You know what I mean? Man. So I'm very excited to do it, man.
That's what's up, man. That's awesome, man. Happy for you, dude.
Thank you, man.
Happy for what you're doing. All kinds of stuff that you got going on, man. Helping out musicians.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
A lot of what do they say? A lot of irons in the fire.
Yeah, and giving back. You know what I mean? I definitely try and help these younger musicians up, man. It's very important to me. Just because if I drop dead tomorrow, I want my legacy to be that you helped up some guys along the way, because I didn't get that, and I definitely try and provide that, and even at a detriment to myself sometimes. I try and help some of these young guys up, man. So I'm looking forward to the future. Some of these bands, man, like Excess, like there's a band out of Alice, man. There's a couple 14, 15-year-olds called Fallen Fears. There's some bands here in town, Zombie King. I know you interviewed their singer. I think they're incredible. You know what I mean? A lot of bands that are going to take that step, but all of them have to take that step like we did. You know what I mean? Yeah. Commit. You know what I mean? And I'm looking forward to seeing what they do.
What are some final thoughts that you would like to share with them as far as giving them some advice?
Oh man, just to really like step back. You know what I mean? Because I that's something that I had an issue with. Everything was a problem to me. Everything was, oh man, so and so's this and so's that. Man, step back. Are you writing great music? And that's something that was told to me from the very beginning. Man, are you writing great music? And that's a bitter pill that us as musicians have to swallow. You know what I mean? Because I think you can kind of get locked into, man, I wrote this and I'm this and it's great. Well, step back. You know what I mean? Is it really great? You know what I mean? And that's something that I try and provide to a lot of bands. And there is something that Chuck from Testament taught me, and the way it came down. And I know my wife can attest to this too. She worked for Testament. So I would always see Chuck when I was touring with him. They would have people pay hundreds of dollars for meet and greets, but then I would see Chuck come out of the bus later at night. We would be drinking by the van, come out with a big joint and smoke with the fans and hang out. You know what I mean? I would always ask him, man, why do you do that if people are paying $200 a clip to do that? He's, man, I learned this from Ronnie James Dio. Ronnie James Dio used to come out and used to roll up a big joint. And he told me this story about how Ronnie James Dio was about to miss a flight. And they said, hey, you're going to miss this flight, man, if you don't do that. Fuck that flight. I'm going to sign everybody's thing here. So to know that it came from Ronnie to Chuck.
From the fucking God himself.
Yeah, and then from Chuck to me. You know what I mean? To pass that down to the next guy. Man, that's everything my life's all about, man. So
yeah, because without the fans, I mean, no band has this success.
Absolutely,
and that's what I always liked about you, dude. Like ever since going back to the Shattered Sun, I mean, shit. Like when we were talking about earlier, playing in Corpus and Alice, like small venues like the Underground, Compound, and then going back to bars like Zeros. You always look back on that and realize, like, you know, you humble yourself, like, damn, I came from this to this. Right. And if it wasn't for the hard, of course, your hard work, but also for the fans.
Yeah.
And then, you know, creating new fans with him. Of course, without them, dude, no band would exist.
Absolutely, man. Like I said, you know, Ill Niño, before I joined the band, they were playing at Zeros to a small number of fans, man. To be the new singer and coming and playing for them and playing at Brewster, selling it out. First day with the band, sold out Brewster. Last time we played at Concrete Street or at House of Rock, sold it out, 630 tickets. to know that we're coming back again. It's gonna be sold out again, man. It's
I would love to see Concrete though.
It's special, dude. That's Concrete's my Super Bowl, man. Like that's my place, man.
Is that your main goal? Like, because I want to ask you, like, being in, these bands, whether it's Shattered Sun, Ill Niño, or whatever, Swim the Currents. What is like your main goal? Like, where's the place that you want to play? Where like, okay, this is like, what's your goal place to play at?
Aside from my play, because Madison Square Garden, Concrete Street. I would love to play at AT&T Stadium. You know what I mean?
Halftime show.
Yeah, maybe not halftime show. Maybe play on a Friday or something. But my main goal, and I know Michelle, my wife, knows this. It's something that I tell my daughters all the time. I want to write a song that is going to live on far past the days that I'm here, and I've yet to achieve that just yet. But that's my goal. You know what I mean? Is to write a song that when I die and when they put the dirt over my bones, man, hey, I'm gonna live on forever, and that's my goal, man. So I still got a lot of time to do it, man. So hopefully it comes on this next record.
You're busy. You're putting in the work. So
absolutely. We got a couple records coming out, so hopefully it comes out on this next one. But like I said, I'm never shy to swing. Never shy to swing.
Leaving a legacy. I don't even think we think about that stuff when we're younger, when we first get started. It isn't until you actually gain some years that you finally have that outlook.
Absolutely. Yeah, because you're not thinking about that in the beginning. I didn't know that until my dad passed. That, like I told you earlier before we came on, my dad would say, yeah, you're gonna do music, but you're also gonna have a backup plan. And I would always take it as a slight. Oh, you don't believe in me? Oh, you don't think I can do it? No, just as a father now, as I'm a father now, I just want you to have something that if you do fall on your ass, you got something. You know what I mean? And fortunately, I haven't fallen on my ass just yet. So I'm very, very excited about what the future holds.
Alice, Texas in the house, baby.
Absolutely. Alice Coyote. Shout out to the graduates, baby.
That's what's up. Yeah, that's cool, man. Well, dude, thanks for... Is there anything else you want to share or mention?
I just want to say thank you for having me, man. Thank you for having my wife and my friend Daniel in here, man. And I'm just very thankful to be honored by my community and by the people that started me, man. So thank you for having me, bro.
You're welcome, man. There's a lot of us that look up to you, and just like Nick here, I invited Nick on the show because he's a listener up to our show, and I know he's totally in the scene. I was like, let me bring Nick on, dude. I know he would appreciate this, dude.
Absolutely.
I was at work and I saw it. I was like, oh, let me get back to him real quick, and then he sent me another message. So I was like, oh fuck! I was like, fuck yeah, I'm down, dude. Let's go.
I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that so much. Thank you so much, Nick, man. Thank you, man. Appreciate you, brother.
Yeah.
Thank you, man, for having us.
All right, yeah. Well, if nothing else, you guys, thanks a lot. Stay tuned for the next few we got. And go check out Vago Burgers and BBQ, 4701 Barrera Drive. Check out the Turdzilla. You don't want to miss that sandwich.
I heard it's the shit.
They got some
dude,
food,
I heard it's the shit. Is it good or what?
It's good, bro.
All right, I might have to fuck with it. Dog.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to fuck with
it. Yeah. All right, appreciate you guys. Stay tuned for the next one. Have a good one.
Later.